So this is the Xiaomi Smart button, and this is the Xiaomi Smart Plug. These can work separately or in conjunction, and together they work really great. So one of the usages that I've found for these two are that I have a fairly new house, and that's great in the cold period because my house is very well insulated, and that means that I save a lot on my heating bill. However, in the warm period, it can get hard to actually control the indoor climate because, again, the house is so well insulated that the heat is sort of kept within the house, which is sometimes troublesome to keep a nice indoor climate, especially during the night. So we sometimes use a fan, to help get a more comfortable, indoor climate. And one of the usages that I found for this is, that I can then, turn this fan on and off using one of these buttons. Then that I can then, put it where I want it, which makes sense. So you, lazy as you are, you don't have to get off the couch to turn on and off the fan. I have also used this to control some of the lights within my house that I don't have smart lights bulbs for, because again, some light bulbs are not easily accessible within the smart lights range. So that's another use scenario. But so one of the things that I've then discovered is, because as you can see here, I have two of these, is that Xiaomi actually makes two different smart plugs, and they are almost identical, but are again different. So the difference is that the one I have here in my right hand is, if you will, a dumb smart plug, because it can only turn on and off, and you can set timers. And again, of course, you can do automation with the button, but in itself, it's that's pretty much it. Whereas this one also has the ability to monitor the power consumption that's being used, which it logs, and you can see stats and stuff like that. And it also has the ability to I use this one in my living room, where I have a lot of chargers set up on a desk, so that iPads, iPhones, whatever, typical devices, they are usually charged there. And I'm not too keen on having these chargers, having them, turned on when they are not really in use. So this one has the ability to detect, when power isn't really not flowing through this for an extended period, and then it will turn off all of the devices that's linked through this, which is clever. So again, as you can see, these are almost identical. You may be able to tell that this one in my left hand is slightly taller and slimmer than the one in my right hand, which is sort of the dumb version. But let me just show an example of what you can do with this. So now I have the dumb smart plug plugged into my outlet to the fan, and I have an automation rule set up now that if I press this once, it should turn on the plug and then give power to the fan. There we go. So this button actually has, you can program 3 separate actions with it. So it supports one click, which you then now toggle the fan to turn off. I can double press it, that will not do anything in this scenario, and I can hold it for an extended time. So 3 separate actions you can do with this button. But let me just show you from the app's perspective the difference between these. If I use the smart version, which also enables you to monitor the power consumption. So here I have my list of plugs, and this one is the dumb version, which is one that's still plugged in. So if I hit the power button here, you can see that the fan starts spinning again, and I can turn it off, and that's it. So you can see I can set timers here, and that is pretty much it. But if I just change to the quote-unquote smart version, you will see a difference. So just a sec. Okay, just before we switch to the smart version, I just want you to show the settings menu for the dumb version, and you can see that you don't really have many options here besides doing automation. But if we just go down to the smart one, you can see, so now we have a different menu here where we can see, if I turn the switch on, you will see now it's starting to measure how much power my fan is drawing. So this number here. So now you're seeing that the number here has been updated to show the current power consumption by my desk fan. And if I press this area, I can also see a graph of power usage. You can show it on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And you also have an additional item within the settings menu. You have this item here, electric appliance protection, which is where you can set that this menu item, charging protection, which turns off the unit if it detects that for an extended duration that the power consumption is almost zero, which again is pretty clever. If you, like me, use this to run a set of devices where you perhaps fear that one of these chargers, like you have seen on many videos, could burst into fire, even though it's pretty much not in use. So that makes sense to enable this option if you use it in a place where it's running for hours, but then should drop to zero, and you want to just make sure that it's totally turned off. So these two in pair really makes sense, and you can find a lot of user scenarios for both these devices. This smart button costs around $10, and the smart plug, even the dumb versus the not so dumb version, cost the same, which is strange, because this one is obviously clever than this one, but they, to the best what I've been looking at the net, cost the same. And actually, when I originally got this as part of the kit that you can buy with the hub, with the motion detector, the magnet detector, this one, and one of the smart buttons. So this was included in my set, whereas this one I was just bought separately. Thinking that it would be the same as this one, and it was not. It's not that big of a deal to me, that I can't monitor the power consumptions for this fan, so that's fine. But the part about not being able to use the power protection thing when the power usage drops makes a lot of sense. So I advise you to pay attention when you are ordering these. The only difference again is that the one with the power usage monitor is slightly slimmer than the one that cannot. The one that cannot has a small print on the top of it saying max 2500 watts. And this does not have any print. So pay attention when you're looking at the description. If you want this one, make sure to ask the seller or to see that the description contains information about being able to monitor power consumption, or you might get this one. And if you should get this one, make sure that you get a better deal on it than this one, because again, this one is more valuable to me, at least. So yeah, hope you like this. If you have any questions, yeah, leave a comment. I think I'm gonna do more of automation with these because there are many other scenarios that could come into mind, like combining a temperature sensor with one of these. Could also be a scenario with the fan, and some other stuff that we could come up with. But yeah, that's it for now. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.